Hi everybody, welcome to our webinar series. I'm Janine. I'm with David Barnett from Attract Capital.
Hello everybody.
Today we're going to be having a quick conversation about relationships, specifically why financing relationships matter with acquisitions. So we all know that relationships are a lot more of an investment, it's a lot more strategy behind it versus a transaction, which could be a little bit more one and done. So Dave, what do you feel is the difference and why relationships matter?
No, it's a great question, Janine. Relationships are really the lifeblood of acquisition financing. They're really important, and as you said, with a transaction, it's one and done. You're looking for the cheapest price generally. You're looking for money at the cheapest price. But with a relationship, you're really looking for the whole ensemble of benefits, how people think that are giving you the money, how they behave over the long term as a lender to you. And you're really, if you're going to do an acquisition, you really want to focus on getting somebody that you can enter into a relationship and then building a strong one.
Great. So do you feel like when it comes to loans and then having lending, like how do you evaluate those differently?
Absolutely, Janine. So there's a difference between evaluating a lending relationship and evaluating a loan. A loan, you're just looking at the criteria, you're looking at the specific terms, the pricing, the maturity, all of the things that can be quantified. But with the lending relationship, you're looking at the behind the scenes things that are not on the term sheet. You're looking at the organization, you're looking at the history of the people, you're looking at the reputation of the people, you're looking at how they make decisions. And you're really trying to understand that if you take money from this particular group, are you going to be able to work with them to be able to get through any tough spots that you hit along the way? You know, any lender can be a really supportive partner if the business is going great, but it's when you hit a tough spot in the road where you need that lender to be very supportive and partner-like. So it's really getting behind the scenes and not looking at just those simple criteria, which is the price and the term.
I was going to say, so it sounds like the criteria is a little bit more in depth when you're going into these sorts of relationships.
Yeah, it's more in depth, it's more psychological, it's more holistic. You're trying to think about what if this happens and what if that happens and how have they behaved with other companies that are doing the same thing. Because in an acquisition, and we've talked about this at length, Janine, there's a lot of unknown factors, and often a company will go off track at some point and will not hit their numbers. And so you need to have somebody who's going to be patient and somebody that'll be flexible with their lending parameters so that they're not just saying, okay, you missed a number, I want all my money back. You know, that's the worst possible outcome. You don't want to have to give all the money back if you miss your numbers.
Yeah, so it sounds like a relationship is really important to the success of the acquisition. And how does it help you in the long term then?
Absolutely. So as you said, you nailed it. The acquisition relationship, the relationship with your lender is critical to the ultimate success. It helps you in the long term because the more time and the more understanding and the patience that you get from your lender, that increases your overall probability that you're going to be able to grow that company that you just acquired. So even if you have a tough couple of quarters, if you can get it back on track, if the lender has faith because you've invested in a relationship. I've seen companies that have underperformed for years, but they've built a really strong bond with their lender, and their lender is still supportive of them because they believe in the person and the team that's running the company. So when the lender has faith, it's really unshakable because they'll go against their interest in some instances, and they won't even manage the loan according to the numbers. They'll manage the loan according to the quality of the people because they built that relationship. So it's absolutely key to ensuring a long-term outcome.
That's incredible. So it really matters.
It totally matters. No, it really does. It's like getting beyond the numbers and building the connection with the people. And it really works in a lending relationship.
Yeah, you definitely want that. You want that strong relationship. So if you had to give tips on building this relationship, how would you go about that?
So the 4 tips are, you want to focus on the prior behavior of the lender and how they've treated companies like yours, particularly companies that might not have gone according to plan. That's number 1. Number 2, you want to focus on the organizational structure of the lender. How do they make decisions? Because that will dictate who you need to build a relationship with. thirdly, you don't want to get seduced by cheap loan pricing. Cheap loan pricing can often indicate that you're dealing with a lender who has to price it cheaply because nobody wants to work with them. So they have to underprice the market. So it's not all about the price of the money, it's the value and the quality of the relationship. That's number 3. And number 4, make sure that you have a lot of flexibility and a lot of agility from your lender. Make sure that they're giving you a financing that is flexible and will make you more agile. So if you do those 4 things, those are our tips. More likely than not, you will enter into a financing relationship which could result in long-term bliss, Janine.
And that's what we all really want out of our relationship. So it sounds like Dave is your man to get those tips and to help build a better and stronger relationship for you through your acquisitions. And we can't wait to talk a little bit more with you moving forward on our webinars. So thank you so much for tuning in. And you can contact Dave through Attract Capital and he can give you more information.
Thanks, everybody.